Brett Favre, one of the all-time great quarterbacks, was on ESPN First Take today. And he was talking about Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. And here's what he said.
I actually thought that they should have kept Nick Foles rather than Carson Wentz, just based off of production and where they got to. They won a Super Bowl with Foles. And that was a little bit surprising. But they're obviously banking on his upside. How many more years do you let it linger before you stick with him or you cut bait? That's a question they only can answer.
Rob, this came at an odd time, obviously.
I think it's the most ridiculous take I've heard. And I didn't see First Take this morning, Chris, but I hope that somebody pushed back. I hope that they updated Brett Favre on what's going on currently, because it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I don't know if they did or not. I didn't see it either. But that's the thing, the timing of this. Had he said this, and he did, in fairness to him, he did say it last year. But Nick Foles is struggling mightily in Chicago. And this is after struggling mightily in Jacksonville.
He got benched last year. Does Brett Favre not remember that? Chris, my thing is, I get it that he said it before, but to repeat that now, right, after he got the contract in Jacksonville, right? And he failed, and he got benched, and he gets the job. He has that big game. Let's not forget that big game came against Atlanta, and everybody beat Atlanta, right? So maybe it wasn't that big of a deal when you think about it. And ever since they gave him the job, he's been awful. He's been bad.
Yeah, because Nick Foles, it just is what it is. And look, in fairness to him, and even Favre in this case, Foles had a great run. Foles had a magnificent run in Philadelphia en route to that Super Bowl. And even the next year, he was good. But you got to understand what Nick Foles is. And he's proven it time and time again. I could equate it to Robert Horry. Robert Horry hit some humongous shots in the playoffs, in the finals, for the Spurs, for the Rockets, for the Lakers. But Robert Horry wasn't a great regular season player. He was a guy that played his best ball in the playoffs. He was a guy, and I say this respectfully, but there are some guys that like they don't want that pressure, or they don't play well under that pressure of having to deliver game in and game out. There are a lot of guys in the NBA that have a great game here or there, a great season, particularly in a contract year. But then when they get the big money, or when people start counting on them, I need you to give me 23 points and 9 rebounds a night like you did last year when nobody expected it from you. And once the expectations are on them, they can't deliver it. And that's Nick Foles, Rob.
It's happened over and over.
Yes.
It's happened. Chris, I know I've said it a million times. He's fine when you lend him the keys to go get some milk, but when you give him the car, he crashes it. That Jacksonville job was supposed to be perfect for him, right? They needed a quarterback. Couldn't hold on to that.
Yep.
In Chicago, let's make the change. They drafted Mitch Trubisky, right? Did they trade up for him?
They traded up to get him.
They traded up for him, and now that they sub you out, and they basically say, Mitch, whatever, thanks, no thanks, we're going to move on. And you still can't make them like that was the right decision. Now they're questioning what did they do? That it tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, when you look at Foles, the years he's come in because the starter got hurt, he's been very good. 8-2 in 2013 when he came in, 6-2 in 2014. But then he goes to St. Louis, right? They're thinking that this guy looks good.
This guy's a stud.
Right. and he goes 4-7. Now, yeah, he had Jeff Fisher, but still, he went 4-7. Goes to Kansas City, only starts one game, 1-0. Goes to Philadelphia behind Carson Wentz, and we all know what happened. He came in and made magic. He made magic.
He played great.
No
He could probably never duplicate that great Super Bowl game. He made every
and even
throw,
the
Chris.
whole run. Yeah,
right,
the
he
end
was
of the regular
tremendous.
season,
Tip
the
your cap.
playoffs. Yep. And he did it the next year. I mean, they didn't get to the Super Bowl, obviously, but he played well. But again, it was the same situation. The season's over. Carson's hurt. Nothing's expected. Anything we get is gravy. And he delivered. But then he, as you said, goes to Jacksonville, starts 0-4, gets benched.
Yep.
Now in Chicago, 2-4 in the games he started, Rob. And I honestly think they should go to Trubisky.
So you're ready to make the change? This is
Yeah.
And that's funny
because they got a great, because you can shift the offense around him. Do what he can do. You got the great defense, play ball control. That's what I think.
But that's what I'm saying, Chris. You're talking about making a change, and like I said, we didn't see the show, so I'm gonna be fair, okay?
Right.
But if I was on that show, I would have been like, dude, have you watched Nick Foles lately? Do you I mean, like, seriously, like they're talking about benching him.
Right. You just bring up that what we just said to Favre. Brett, this is a guy that's proven that when it's expected,
yes,
like you said, right, when he's given the keys, he just don't want it. And there are guys like that.
There are plenty of guys. Chris, we talk about it. You mentioned the NBA. There are guys who, and you've watched them, don't want the ball at the end of the game,
right.
Chris. They're defending the defender.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They're
right.
defending the defender.
Yep.
Because they want
from the rock.
Right. They want no part of it.
Right. Hot potato. But yeah, it was just interesting timing for Brett Favre. Now he said, I thought they should have gone to Foles.
No, I get that.
If you want to try to, did he possibly mean, at that time, but not now? But he did go on. And look, Wentz does have to play better. And Wentz has said that. Obviously, he's got a lot of injuries, and that's hurt him. But he has not been that guy that started 11-2. And as you've said before, he was on the MVP pace. And ever since he got injured, and then Foles, of course, came in. But, he's had moments, because last year he had a moment, when he got them to the playoffs.
Right, but
he hasn't been that consistent guy.
Here's my only thing. We don't know what Carson Wentz is going to be ultimately, Chris, and if he's going to win one or whatever. We don't. Okay. But we know what Nick Foles is. And we do know, and that's the difference. And I'm not saying that he can't get hot and win you 3 or 4 games, and he was great in the Super. We saw it. Yes. We gave you the parade. We threw the confetti at you.
They built a statue.
Right? All of that. But his career is kind of carved out, don't we? Don't we know what he is?
Oh yeah. Well, you and I don't know if you said we've said it since then, or at least I have. The time to go to Foles, if you had to go to him in Chicago, would have been a little later in the season. Where maybe you're right about out of the playoff hunt, and nothing's expected, and you throw in Foles. You got 5 games left. And then he probably plays his best football. Even Sunday, Rob, if you watch that game, I mean, it was a blowout, essentially. Right. But late, Nick threw a few touchdowns.
So he
had a few drives.
He had the stat pad for going.
Yeah,
late,
yeah.
Right?